Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. And today, my friends, is a very, very, very special day. It is the final episode of the year. Congratulations to me and to you. We've pretty much made it through 2022. Don't want to jinx anything, so knock on wood. It's also episode number 99, people. Number 99. We are one episode away from entering the triple digits of this show. What a fitting way to kind of, end the year and end this portion of the show being in the double digits and entering the triple digits, then ending the year on number 99 and beginning the year with episode 100. It's truly quite amazing if you think about it. Just me looking back at it, I never thought that it would be this long. Well, I guess I never really had a reason to stop. I just kind of kept going, kept this whole show going out of love and out of, passion, you could say. And I've been enjoying every second of it. I've been enjoying every second. I've recorded in the studio, out of the studio, in a car. I have done a lot to put out every week an episode of this podcast. And I've loved every second of it. And what a better way to, look back at the year than right now. It's only fitting, right? The year is pretty much going to be over. Next episode is going to be in the new year, 2023. So why not we take a little trip down memory lane and look back at 2022? What is 2022? What are we going to remember about 2022? Well, for starters, Avatar came back. Let's be honest. Did we think that we would see another Avatar film in our lifetime? Sure, it made so much money. Over $2 billion, the profitable film of all time, right? It's already crossed over $1 billion within 14 days of it being out. The movie, it just keeps making money for some reason. I don't know what it is, but hey, makes a ton of money. People like to see it, A lot of people, I think, in America have seen it. Most people have, but I think the crazy stat about Avatar is the amount of people that see it overseas. So right now, if I'm taking a look at the overall gross that the movie has made, right now we're at $1.03 billion. So domestically, it's made $317 million. Overseas and internationally, it's made $712 million. That's more than double the United States' viewership. Now, I would love to know what it is about Avatar that the people overseas and in other countries find it to be so appealing, because I'll give you this. It's a good movie. It's very good. Not as good as the first one, but very good. I'm curious of what draws in that international audience more so than the American audience. Is it because it's, a relatable story? Could be. The fact that the effects are so good and people love effects? Possibly. But, it's it's hard to tell. I guess I would have to go to like another country and see what the whole deal is about Avatar, because I'm truly curious about that. Avatar came out. We had Christmas. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. I sure as hell did. I think I had a little too good of a Christmas, if you ask me. Not as in I got a lot of gifts. I got some pretty cool gifts. I got a lot of clothes, a lot of long sleeve shirts. I got some socks, which I desperately needed. Some boxers, which I desperately needed as well. Because I think that boxers and socks, for me personally, is not something that I want to spend my own money on. It just isn't. For some reason, it just doesn't seem like it's worth me spending money. And look, you might be, looking and thinking like, well, why would you wear underwear that is, over a year old? And don't I mean, I'm with you. I don't want to wear that underwear that's that year old, right? It's got some holes. It's super stretchy. It's fading. Right? It's very loose. I don't want to wear it either. But I can't for the life of me force myself to buy underwear or socks. I just don't want to do it. I'd much rather spend my money on something nicer that people will see. People aren't going to see my underwear or my socks, so I don't really feel like I need to get new ones all that much. Now, this perspective has got people rolling their eyes like, your hygiene is terrible. Well, hell, I wash my stuff. I don't just wear it all the time and don't wash it. I wash it every time. Some people think that, now people think that washing does nothing. I see no science behind that. If you can give me like some evidence that just because you wash a certain clothing item and keep wearing it for years, that it's still dirty, I want to see that evidence, because I don't believe it. I truly don't believe it. But something I also got that was actually pretty surprising was a pair of UGG slippers. Now, I'm not much of a slipper guy. I'm not much of a... I guess I wasn't much of a slipper guy, but these slippers are so damn comfortable. They've pretty much grown on me. I wasn't going to not wear them, right? I've gotten to the point where I don't like to be barefoot, even in my own home, even where I live. I prefer to either have socks or Crocs or Nike slides, and now a new addition to the family, UGG slippers, which I've got to be the most comfortable out of the three that I have. And I don't know what it is, but I just can't be barefoot no more. Not sure. Maybe because it's winter and it gets cold out and the tiles on the kitchen get cold and I don't want that. I don't know. Maybe I just like the cushion of the stuff that I wear. I don't know. Maybe it's just me not... Maybe I need that support now. Maybe my feet are like getting older to the point where I need to have padding and stuff like that. I don't know, but I can tell you this. It was a great gift. Fantastic gift. It wasn't expected. It wasn't even on my Christmas list. Didn't even cross my mind. But it was a pleasant gift. And I'm happy to receive it. Of course, I got some stuff in the old stocking, a lot of candy, which I have not yet fully inhaled yet. You should be happy about me, people, my listeners who have known my struggle through with candy, the addiction I have to candy. It's been a rough one. This past 3 months, especially during the Halloween season, where I completely lost control. But now I have candy in my stocking. I have not completely eaten it yet, which is surprising, which is a good step forward. But I've been kind of, gradually eating through it, but not all at once, which to me is a step in the right direction. It's the little things. You gotta make some little adjustments in order to see big results. And eventually those little adjustments will become bigger, and then you'll see even more bigger results. Sorry, pause right now. I have to drink some coffee because I am literally dying right now. I told you guys this, but I was never a black coffee drinker up until this year, I believe. Sometime this year, I made the conversion to black coffee. And not just straight black. I'm not that insane yet. I add some sugar, a little bit of sugar, just to give it a little bit of sweetness, but no creamer for this guy. I used to be big on the creamer, big on the Italian sweet cream from, I forget the brand, but it was delicious, a delicious creamer. We ran out one day, and I'm like, oh, I already made the cup, might as well. Then I fell in love. I've never gone back. I've never wanted to go back. I like it the way it is. It's nice and pleasant. And if you think about it, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm kind of insane, but whenever I take a drink of black coffee with some sugar, I get a little bit of a taste of chocolate. Now, is that because coffee made from the cacao bean or the cocoa bean? Now, the question is, which one is chocolate? I've heard it's cocoa. I've heard it's cacao. Now, are they the same thing? I have no idea. And which one is used for chocolate and which one is used for coffee? That will be in a question that you probably are yelling at me right now. But truly, I have no idea what it is. I wish I did, but I don't. So a big change for me. Growing up, I think, drinking black coffee, never thought I would. I know it's not purely black. I know the black coffee connoisseurs, the black coffee cult leaders are like, this is not black. I'll probably get there in time. I don't understand how the people who drink black coffee by the age of 21, I just don't get that. You're still young enough then to love sweet shit. How do you just drink black coffee at that age? I'm thinking it's because it's kind of like a situation like me where they don't have the creamer and they just kind of drink it like that. Or they're trying to force themselves to like black coffee because that's cool in their eyes. And drinking super creamy coffee is not. It's lame. It's immature. It's childish. It's what kids would do, and they want to feel like they're mature. I don't know. I just know for me, it happened because I ran out of creamer, and I'm so happy that day that I did. I feel like I have matured, evolved, leveled up, whatever you want to call it. I just feel like I've taken the step forward into adulthood. Speaking of, adulthood, when Christmas time comes around and you grow up and you're an adult now, you have some cash to get some of your family members some good gifts. Like an actually thoughtful, pretty priced gift that I think, now that Christmas has passed, I could now spoil this. I decided, along with the help of my father, to get my baby brother a PlayStation 5. And the look on his face when he saw it, man, it was truly a moment where I was like, dang, I did a good thing. I did a great thing. I think I nailed this gift giving this year. It felt amazing. And I was surprised that I was actually able to get the gift because, one, the PlayStation 5 is still a highly, highly, highly requested piece of machinery out there. They don't make a whole ton of them. Like, you can't go to a store any time of the week and just pick one up if you want one. They're pretty limited at the moment. So I'm going to break down my entire experience on how I got this machine and how I was able to secure the bag or secure the item in the way that I did, the fashion that I did. I did it online. I went to Best Buy and they had, I was like, all right, I'm going to get this guy a PS5 because he wants it. He's wanted it for a while. He's been trying to get it. Money's kind of tight with this guy. Let me get him a good gift. So I go to Best Buy, and I see that they only have the God of War disc version of the console bundle. And I'm like thinking, like, hey, this guy loves God of War. He wants a PS5. What a better way to get... There's no better gift right now for me to get this guy than this bundled PS5 with God of War Ragnarok. So I do. I set on this quest, and I decide to hit purchase on the Best Buy app on my phone, and I'm waiting in a queue. Because nowadays, the internet and stores online, shopping online, is such a pleasant experience when it works. Let me tell you this. Back when I would say maybe 2020, right? When the world was shut down and the Xboxes and the PS5s were coming out in that year of November, it was almost impossible for you to get these items because there was no reserved queue and reserved purchase back then. Even in 2021, I remember I had to fly, and I mean go quickly, when I bought my Series X, because you just had to click yes, accept, and then go in order to get one. And if you took too long and you decided to make the purchase and enter your card in and all that jazz, you would have been somebody would have swooped in and stole that thing right from underneath your nose. Here, this experience, nothing like that one bit. I was reserved 10 minutes on the page to purchase this PS5. I had 10 glorious minutes to make that decision. I couldn't believe it. It was held there. It was reserved. And by the way, the queue took 30 seconds. And by the way, this is my second time. The first time, I tapped out because it was over half an hour, and I was like, I'm not going to get nowhere. It wasn't until the next day where I tried again where I got this blessed, glorious experience. And then I'm just like, oh my God, we have come such a far way in terms of buying stuff online that is highly sought after, that is at high demand with limited quantities. Couldn't believe it. It was so pleasant. It was so nice. And the only bad thing was I had to go to the Best Buy and pick it up. But that was like lickety-split, and I just got in and out very quickly. So it wasn't that much of a big deal. I have to say, Best Buy, you have really made that shopping experience well worth the time. And for me to boast about it on my podcast, you should be so thankful. So if you decide to purchase something online, whatever it may be, in high demand or not, try Best Buy. It was nice. It was pleasant. Wasn't no rush. I knew what I wanted. I got in and out, and that was it. Quite the experience, I must say. Probably one of the nicest experiences I've ever had this year. I'll be honest. It was quite incredible. So he loved it. He loved it. He opened it up the next day. I was like, oh my God. I feel, that warm feeling you get in your heart when you nailed a gift. Jeez, man, it feels so good for you to see the look on their face, the excitement, the joy, the happiness. It's nothing like anything in this world. It really does put a smile on theirs and your face. And that's always what Christmas was about, right? And up until you get a pretty bad gift for someone else. That's also what happened to me this year. I had good gifts. I had one bad gift. And that was to my poor mother. I went to Bed Bath & Beyond to buy her some matching bath mats. That's what she's wanted for a while. She's wanted that for a while. And I went to Macy's because I was just in the area and I was looking for stuff at Macy's. I bought some stuff and I decided to go to the lower decks, below the deck, in the place where I would assume that not a lot of people go to, at least during this time, because when I went down there wasn't that many people. And it was the furniture stuff, like living rooms and bathrooms and kitchens and stuff like that. And the selection there was kind of scarce, shitty, small, not that good. So I went there, went to the bath area, I found some bath mats. None of them matched, really. They're all super expensive as well. Like, oh my God. I saw bath mats between the prices of like $55 and $85. Just those two prices, nothing in between. And I was like, what the hell do I do here? Like, this cannot be how much these things cost, right? It didn't make any sense to me. So I decided, what do I do? Like when you're in a pinch, not with cash, but like time, because I was running out of time to shop for gifts. I mean, I was running out of time. I was almost completely out of time. So I nearly bought 4 or 5 $85 bath mats just to make the gift. And I was thinking, like, this is going to cost me a ton of money. What am I doing here? So I decided to, hold the cash and pull back, step back and rethink and retool and just, be like, okay, I cannot do this. This is just not going to make any sense. So I decided to go to the place where I would think I would be able to find a bigger selection at Bed Bath & Beyond. No, actually, it was worse. It was much worse. What they have at Bed Bath & Beyond is cool, though. They have this giant area that is blocked off for bath mats, and they have actual sizes of bath mats, different sizes, different types of bath mats, colors, materials, and then those same bath mats are all in different sizes. So you can get like small, medium, large, extra large, whatever. I'm like, perfect. This is what I needed. All at a pretty reasonable price. I'm like, yeah, here we go. Although, when I went there, the whole place was gutted. I couldn't find a single matching, 4 set that would make sense for my mother's bathroom or for the colors that she likes. I was like thinking to myself, like, what do I do here? I'm kind of striking out here. Like, where else am I going to go? This is where my sister told me to go, like Bed Bath & Beyond. And I would think that this would be the best spot to go to because it's called Bed Bath & Beyond. So I strike out there, and I'm like, okay, what? Okay, no bath mats, I guess. So I stick around at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I'm thinking, like, all right, what about, this is going to be embarrassing as shit, what about a tablecloth? Because I know she didn't have that many tablecloths. She has a couple cool ones that are like for holidays and like special, like, she has a lot of Christmas ones, Thanksgiving, a couple like pink ones for like Valentine's Day and shit, but like not really like neutral summertime, springtime, really tablecloths, or like a neutral month, like June, July, and August, September. Like those are like some neutral ass months where you don't really, you don't need like a theme of like a holiday or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get her these two. They're pretty neutral. She can switch off between them, and then that'll get that covered. That's a pretty decent. I'm thinking like this is a pretty decent gift. Like it's not like the bath mats what she wanted. Right? Those would have been that would have been a cool gift. That would have been a really cool gift. I admit it. Like that one passed me by. I was kind of kicking myself in the foot, but like, damn, I should have went earlier. Should have came sooner. I missed out. I came too late. They have nothing here. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna settle for bath mats or tablecloths, whatever. Christmas Day comes. She opens them. They're too small. I'm like, son of a bitch. What have I done? So I completely I ruined it. I mean, I ruined that my whole gift giving experience went from great to horrible within like the span of like 2 minutes. So I was like, okay, yeah, you hate them. Here's a receipt. Take them back and get whatever you want. She's like, okay, I will. Because I knew it was not a good gift. I just got something to not feel like a piece of shit and not come in empty-handed. I could not believe it. But, she's going to take them back. And the more I looked at them, the more when I was wrapping them to, I'm like, this is such a horrible, horrible gift. I can't believe it. So, she understood. She knew. I explained, like, they had nothing there. What do you want me to do? And then they're like, okay, it's fine. Whatever. We'll just go there, and I'll get them. I'll get some what I want, It's like, okay, that's cool. So my Christmas was pretty cool. Like I said, I had a good gift giving, bad gift giving, but I'll tell you this: I feel huge right now. I mean, I feel enormous. I've had so much holiday food this past like 6 days, not even 6, like 4 days. I've had so much holiday food. From like dips and cookies and pies and really fatty food and just like desserts and salty foods and like, oh man, I mean, like I've eaten like a king, but I feel enormous right now, and that's just kind of like where I'm at. Like I just feel slow, I feel sluggish, I feel huge. And I need to stop. Luckily, I've been mixing in some salads within these past few days. So thank God I'm not entirely a piece of shit. Not super fat. But I got to tell you this, man. When you get older and a lot of your life and a lot of your priority in life is to consume food, like really good food, you kind of overdo it more than you've ever done with more consequences than you ever had. Because when you're a kid, you can eat whatever the fuck you want, pretty much, and be completely fine. Nowadays, I get a little tired. I feel slower. I'm like, sometimes if I eat something like too much dairy or something like that, it doesn't end well. It doesn't feel good. If I overeat, it's like, oh man, I feel terrible. But that's just the point. That's just the part of growing up, right? We're at the end of another year. We keep on going. So I think what I'm gonna have to do this at the start of the new year, and especially when we hit back on Christmas time, is I'm just gonna start eating more salads for one, and maybe not as much on my plate. I know I say that every year, like just to eat less, and I don't eat as much, but it always fails. I mean, sometimes I eat too much all the time. It's so bad. Like I'll be like eating when I'll get home like around 3 after I've had my lunch and a little breakfast, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I'm not gonna eat that much. Then I make 2 sandwiches, crush a bag of chips, a sody pop, a little bit of maybe a cookie or 2. I'm like, oh my God, I did it again. I went overboard again, and it's not because like I want to. It's just like I'm so hungry. Maybe it's the food. I'm not eating like the most nutritious food out there. Maybe I got to eat like more nutritious food. That way I could stay full longer. Remember Al Roker on the Today Show? He's still there, I think. I remember when he was huge, like massive. He had like this whole story that he was going through this like weight loss journey, and the only way that he was able to lose or to get smaller was to get this surgery that would shrink your stomach. I think he said like one time that his stomach was like the size of a basketball because he ate so much and it stretched out his stomach. That way he never really felt that full. I'm not sure on the science behind that, but I would kind of feel like the stomach would be an organ that is easily able to be stretched. I mean, we get stretch marks all the time. Our guts stretch out, everything stretches out on our bodies. How can an organ not, right? So it kind of makes sense. And he got the surgery to reduce the stomach. That way he would have to get smaller. I mean, just naturally, because your stomach, I don't know if it's like they cut so much out of your stomach that you cannot stretch it out anymore, or like what happens, but like it seemed to work because he got hella small after that. Looked a lot better. I'm not saying that I need that, but I feel like if there was something that I would be able to eat that made me feel like I had energy and food, that way I wouldn't be just making gigantic meals when I don't need to. And luckily, I've actually kind of found the answer to this, especially in the mornings when I have to go to work and shit. In the mornings, I don't have that much time to make breakfast. I wake up kind of late. I gotta go, but I found this one breakfast item that has been saving my life lately in terms of being able to satisfy the hunger of waking up and having and eating breakfast and staying full or fueled up, having energy at least. Because everyone hates the feel when you don't eat enough food or you eat something that doesn't give you enough energy and you can feel it burning away. Then after a while, your stomach kind of starts to hurt and you just don't have enough energy. Belvita crackers, for me, have been a lifesaver and a life changer because whatever's in them, whether it be all the grains and nutrients and protein, whatever they have in them, they last for at least, I would say, a good 4 hours. So like if you're, working or doing something for like at least 4 hours and you eat a Belvita at the start of that time, I think for the most part, people are going to feel pretty full, pretty, satisfied. At least I do. I know that for a fact because when I eat them, I'm like, oh, they don't taste that great. They're okay. They're kind of dry too, but like they have a lot of grains and nutrients in them that you feel full. At least I feel full, and I'm a fat piece of shit. So I think that, as time goes on, as I get older, I think that the Belvita is a pretty solid option for breakfast. I will admit it. I feel like I'm a lot fuller when I have a Belvita crackers, like a 4-piece Belvita crackers and an entire bowl of cereal. Now, of course, depending on the cereal, if you have like Cocoa Pebbles versus multigrain Cheerios, which do you think is going to fill you up even more? It's got to be the multigrain Cheerios, obviously. The Cocoa Pebbles, I mean, that's just airy sugar rice, whatever the hell it is. Or Pebbles, sorry. It's just nothing. Which is kind of, those cereals are marketed to children and supposed to be part of a balanced breakfast for children, but like they don't give them any energy. I remember when I was a kid, I would beg my parents, please, can we have Cocoa Puffs? Can we please have Cocoa Crisps? Can we please have cocoa, anything chocolate or sweet? It was a hard no. A hard no, because they're like, that's not a good breakfast. You shouldn't be having chocolate in the morning. And they kind of stuck with that for at least until I got to like high school, like when I got older. And at that point, it was just like, hey, can I have this? And I'm like, oh, sure, yeah, whatever. But you know what the thing is, like, as much as I wanted it, that sugary cereal back then, I feel like I never made it that big of a deal and was like depressed over it. I was not a sugary cereal type of kid. And I feel like it was for the better, because now I do tend to eat them because they're just there. That's what we get. Because, it's like, I'm not like I'm addicted and I need to keep eating it because it's all I can eat, it's all I want. It's just like a little cool treat, And I actually feel like other cereals that are more healthier for you are just better for you, like just better for me. Like they just feel like they're more filling. Like Honey Bunches of Oats, man. That's like got to be like the one of the most filling cereals out there, because it's got like everything that you need, for a cereal and to start your day. It's got flakes, it's got bunches of oats, it's got almonds, it's got everything that you want in a cereal that's crunchy and goes good with milk. So that's got to be like one of the better cereals out there. Now, I remember when I was on a really healthy kick to beginning this year, I was on like a very high fiber diet. A really high fiber diet. I don't know why, but I was. My whole family was. I was like, okay, let's try this out. And I was eating like a bunch of grains. I was eating a bunch of berries. I was eating Dave's Killer Bread, apples, carrots, you name it. Ton of fiber. That's kind of all gone out the window as the year progressed. I'm not happy about it, but I'm also like not kicking myself kicking myself about it either. It was a good try. It was a good fun time, but it was just like it was not sustainable. It got to the point where it was hard to eat the amount of fiber that you were supposed to eat, because I think you were supposed to like consume like maybe 35 grams of fiber for this all fiber diet, right? And I'm not even sure if it was like a well used diet, if it was like a popular diet, if it like had results. It just seemed like the healthier thing to do at the time, right at the beginning of the year. So I gave it a shot. But diets, man, they're so hard to commit to. Like I look at like diets like keto, that you can just eat fatty stuff, like you eat a lot of meats, bacon, no sugar, nothing sweet. Like Jesus, like that's got to be a strain on your body. Like your body, as much as sugar is bad for you, a little bit is not going to kill you. A little bit is going to satisfy your bodily functional need to have, it's like almost like a drug. Sugar is like a drug for the body. Like you don't need a lot of it, but when you get a little bit, it's like, oh shit, I feel so much better. A little bit of sugar like doesn't hurt you, but people think that it's like the devil now. That's why there's so many sodas that are like sugar free now, because sugar is apparently the devil. But I don't think it is. I think that sugar is bad when you abuse it. And then all you eat is sugar. Yes, it's terrible. It's not good. But the fact that there's people out there that don't eat anything with sugar in it, like everything is like a diet or not is like a sugar replacement. It's like, okay, do you need that? Is that like because of a medical condition, or you're just afraid that sugar is gonna destroy you, which it can. But maybe they just don't have any self-control. Maybe they need to have sugar alternatives, so they don't go off the rails, and just like I can become addicted. I think like the people that do that are kind of like in the same boat that I am. Sometimes they have a sugar addiction. Like I've said before, I'm addicted to candy. It does happen. It happens quite a bit, but I never think that I need to replace and get a sugar alternative. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I need to. Maybe it's for the best. Maybe it'll help me, with my health. I don't know. But I've always heard bad things about the sugar alternatives, like it causes cancers or some shit like that, or it's not that much better. It's not natural. That's the one thing, is that sugar is, as bad as it is pretty natural. I mean, you eat like an apple, it's got like natural sugars in it. So like, I mean, it's probably bad for you, but it can't be that bad, right? I mean, you're eating fruit at least. You're eating something that's grown from the ground, from a tree. Infinitely better than eating like a candy, obviously. Still has sugar in it, but it's like, it's more natural than a candy bar. I mean, you can't tell me that it's still going to be that bad for you, right? Now, of course, if you eat like 20 apples a day, you might get diabetes. But as long as it's not like something that's processed, I think you're more okay than something that is processed. Like I'd rather eat like 20 apples than 20 candy bars, because I mean, you tell me what's going to be worse. It's going to be the candy bars, right? It has to be. Unless there's like a study proven like this many candy bars is not as bad as this many fruits. I want to see that study first, and then we'll talk. Up until then, I'm gonna think that fruit is super healthy for you, because it can't be that bad. It can't be, right? We can't. Okay. You know how people say that everything that you consume can give you cancer? Like bacon gives you cancer. Red meat gives you cancer. Bread gives you cancer. Candy gives you cancer. Like, what are we supposed to eat then? Like, leaves? Salad all day? Won't that give you cancer? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Very, very strange on how we are giving all this information. Like, that's just bad information. Like, of course it's good. It's good to know and to have. But at the same time, it's like, dude, what do you think that our diets are made of all this time? We eat bacon. We eat meat. We eat bread. That's part of what we do. We're just going to cut it all out and just go to salads, plants? I don't know. But then there's no joy in that. You eat a salad, for the most part, it's okay. Like, a salad cannot be, in my opinion, if there's like no protein in that salad and no type of dressing, it can't be phenomenal. It just can't be. It can be only okay. Now, a chicken salad with some cheese, that could be amazing. With some croutons, some nice dressing, hopefully ranch, it might be okay. But a salad with just lettuce and some like vinegar dressing, that cannot be that good. Come on. No cheese, no croutons, just kale, spinach, vinegar-based dressing, and that's it. Are you kidding? There's no way. Some people add like avocados now to their salads because they need some fattiness. They need some good texture, some good fat, something that tastes good. I mean, I'd be for that too. But no, too much avocado is not great for you. Or is it good? People love to praise avocados. They love to say, "Oh, I eat avocado every morning and I feel good about it. And if I feel good and it's good for you, and I put on my toast, my bread, I put on everything." And it's like, shut up. What the? Like, you think I'm going to buy that many avocados? That's a lot of work. To mash up avocados and put it on my bread and put all this seasoning and stuff on it. And look, I'm sure it tastes amazing. And I like avocado. I'm a big fan of avocados. I like guacamole. I love all that shit. But, like, I'm not going to, like, just base my entire diet now on avocado. I mean, so much of a good thing has to be bad for you, right? Like, you can eat salads every single day, for multiple times a day. There's got to be some kind of bad effect to eating salads 3 times a day. There has to be. Whether you turn green or your waist is green, like, there's got to be something that's just like a negative from eating salad all the time. Does it make your stomach weaker that it now can't process meats or tougher foods? Like, there's got to be some kind of trade-off to just eating one thing all the time. Come on. I remember when I was a really young kid, my baby brother loved baby food, carrot flavored baby food. Loved it. That's all he would eat, was just the carrot kind. The dude turned orange. No shit, like, he turned orange because he had so much carrot in his system. Couldn't believe it. I thought that shit was only in movies and in TV shows, but no, it happened. It was true. It really happened. It's like, damn, yeah, cut back on the carrots, kid. Ease up on that shit. And of course, he never turned orange again, but there was a time where he was orange. So what if you eat too much salad and you become green? That could possibly be a thing, right? I don't know. Strange times. Ah, man. Looking back on the year, man. It was a good year, though. It was a fun year. I mean, we got the best movie of the year, in my opinion. Top Gun Maverick finally came out. I was so excited, and to me, I completed a milestone in my life, whereas I finally got to see Top Gun Maverick. I mean, I had gone 2 years without seeing that film when it was supposed to come out, thanks to the pandemic. It never did come out when it was supposed to come out. Finally saw that. We saw Avatar, like I said. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out. We're back. Enough of this whole lull of being in Black Ops or Vanguard Call of Duties. That shit is out of here. Halo Infinite is essentially dead, which is I never thought that would happen, but this year has essentially killed it. So we can thank 22 for good things like Top Gun and Modern Warfare 2, and finally putting games to bed like Halo Infinite. Thank God. I'm also happy that I didn't spend a single dime on the new Lego Star Wars game. I recently got it on Game Pass, which I guess you can kind of say I spent a dime. But I didn't actually purchase the game itself. I'm playing it through Game Pass, which I gotta say, while it's such a fun game, it's so fun, I could not see myself spending $70 for it. I just could not. I was really excited to play it. I wanted to play it when it came out, but I saw the price tag. I'm like, it's a Lego Star Wars game. It's a Lego game. It's not worth $70 to me. But, with this year passing, it seems to look like a lot of games in the future are going to be their starting points at $70, which is good and bad. Good because hopefully this kind of makes them try harder to make games worth that much money, but these video game companies are kind of scales and evil. They might not even do that. It might just be, it might just be the same old shit. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't really have that much hope for games with the quality of the games matching the price and being like this is worth this much money. And I think those days are long gone, essentially. But we'll see, I guess, in the future. We had a good year for sports. We had the World Cup. This year, the Rams won the Super Bowl. I'm becoming a Rams fan last year, and winning a Super Bowl this year was amazing. This year has sucked, and it could have been a lot better. And seeing how the future of the Rams and no picks and no draft picks near in sight, at least first rounders, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for the future, but we must prevail. Like I said, the World Cup, Argentina finally won the World Cup. Messi has his World Cup. Legend, goated, the GOAT, I think, in men's soccer. Finally, in my eyes, already confirmed, but even more confirmed now after this World Cup victory. That was fun to see. Lots of cool stuff, though. A lot of cool stuff. Before I get out of here, after the look back at this year and how it went, I thought it was pretty good. Very solid. I've matured, I think, but I've also kind of stayed the same. I will not sit back and let my words not be heard. I think you've all kind of known this and got a clue out of this because I have a podcast. But this is also true with my friends, my family, people I know. I love to get my opinion out there because what is the point if you don't? Well, you're just going to follow people. You're going to follow what people say. You're going to listen to what people say and be like, hey, that's what he says. This might be true. I'm going to go. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm a renegade. I don't want to just fight you all the time, but I also want to be like, let me look at it through my lens and then compare it to your lens. I just feel like it's a natural thing to do, and I feel like it's an intelligent thing to do. I just feel like it's a thing that most people I think all people should do. The last thing you want to do is be a follower, right? I was always taught, don't be a follower, be a leader. Or if you're going to be a follower, make sure it's the right way, you know? But I think that at the end of the day, you should not be a follower in any case. In any case, don't be a follower. Just, yeah, and that's what I always try to do in every aspect in life, is just to look at things at a different perspective and always have an opinion and just kind of be educated on the situations and all that stuff. I think it'll help out everybody. So that's some advice I think that I think needs to be propelled and put out to the world, is like, who are you, and what do you want to know, or what do you think? What do you think about this? Don't be shy. Tell us what you think. That's always been something that's always been true to me, and I've always wanted to amplify that and put that out into the world. But last little bit of thing here was some news that broke. It was pretty astonishing, I think. If you follow football, you might, and I hope you do. It was pretty shocking to me, but also something that I thought was coming for a while. And being a person who lives in California, and being a person who knows people who are Las Vegas Raiders fans, a lot of people I know who are, it's been quite the journey, I think. And I haven't really talked to that many so far. It's fresh breaking news. But I kind of want to get my opinion out there before I really talk to other Raiders fans out there. And that's the news that Derek Carr, their starting quarterback, has been benched for the remaining 2 games of the season. Whoa. Now, what do I think about this? Well, being from the Fresno area, going to Fresno State, and, always seeing how Derek Carr was like our star athlete, him and Paul George, that really put Fresno State on the map in terms of recognition. And even Devontae Adams, he was Fresno State too. And the recognition of their athleticism, and just like the California football scene in general. Like, I'm so happy that Lincoln Riley is coaching at USC. Why? Because he's a name, a good coach, good head coach, attached to probably the biggest football program in California, in being USC. And he's going to get all these kids to play at USC and keep the talent in California. Which, if you don't know, a lot of the talent that comes from college football is from California. And where do they go? In the past, they would go to Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Clemson, all these Southeast schools would just steal California talent. Why? Because they're going to probably win shit there and be able to get drafted highly. Now that we have Lincoln Riley here, USC is better, UCLA is better, they're going to the Big Ten soon. California football is going to be a lot better. I have a full-hearted, belief in that. And, of course, the part of that growth is also Derek Carr being from Fresno State. And, being a Fresno State alum, I would always root for the guy. I always thought that he was, not the greatest quarterback, but a quarterback that had a lot of potential and was dedicated to the Raiders throughout his entire 9 seasons there, and that he's always been like their QB1, ever since like he started back in 14. But I think it's safe to say that might be up. Looks like it's up now. And after seeing the way that he played against the Steelers on Christmas Eve, because it was like the only game on at that time, you were kind of forced to watch that. And if you're a football fan, and just seeing the way he played, he was missing a lot of receivers that game. A lot of receivers, a lot of balls being just sailing, inaccurate, just kind of a bad quarterback play. And I didn't think that he would get benched, but he ended up getting benched, and it shook the world. It's still trending right now on Twitter. Like, Derek Carr's still number 1 or number 2 trending, because it's one thing where, he was always kind of mentioned as a good quarterback and a talented quarterback that had a lot of potential, I kept hearing potential, potential, potential. But I'm like, dude, we are 9 years in with this guy. At what point can you throw out potential and just say he's not that good anymore? Right? And I feel like Josh McDaniels and the Raiders are like, yeah, he's probably not the guy now. We might have to move on. And it's kind of crazy because people thought that when Josh McDaniels would get there to Las Vegas, that it was probably not the best idea, but definitely seemed like Josh McDaniels was capable of installing a type of offense that would hopefully Derek Carr would be able to understand, as, Tom Brady was able to back in the New England days. Obviously, Derek Carr is not Tom Brady. Las Vegas is not New England, so that all kind of was like pretty, I mean, like they're like what, 6-9, 7-9. I don't remember the record, but it's not like the greatest. I think they're like pretty much out of the playoffs right now, I think. But it just looks like, this experiment when they drafted him, when he was so committed, and he is so committed to that team. It's crazy. His loyalty is refreshing, and it's nice and it's cool. But it's like, at what point do you just have to, move on? It's just not working out. And I feel like, a lot of Raiders fans, including like people I know, like my dad, just can't stand the guy no more. They're tired of him. They've seen enough of him, and it's been like this for years now. Like, they've seen like enough. Like, this guy can't do nothing. Makes dumb plays, can't hit receivers, isn't very clutch, and it's kind of shown that this year his passing completions has been, very, very down this year. And you would think, like, why is that? Why is that? Because he has a very talented receiving core. He has Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Mac Hollins. He has a good receiving core out there, along with Josh McDaniels. And, of course, he had a good running back, too, with Josh Jacobs. But it just never seemed to happen. It never seemed to work. But you would always get the same thing, loyalty. I'm loyal. I love this team. I think that might have been the last straw, though. It might have been it. I think he was talking his way into still being on that team through love and passion and love of the fans and love of that team, that he never really got that much better, but he was loyal. And then people just kind of rode with him. This whole benching situation, I think, kind of affirms that he's probably done with this team at the end of the season, which, from what he said, seems like it might be the end of his career, because he's gone on record saying that if he doesn't play for the Raiders, he's not going to play for in the NFL. So it's like, well, okay, bro. I mean, like, you've already made that statement. You have to, like, are you going to keep true to that, or are you going to keep playing? Like, what's going on here? But I know a lot of people that are happy about this. A couple of people that I know are just happy about it. The news broke, and then they're just like, yo, this is happening. Hallelujah. And then people are like, okay, now we can talk about maybe getting a draft, maybe quarterbacks. Maybe we'll try to tank more, get a higher pick. Maybe we just rebuild the entire thing. And, I've always seen Raiders fans either happy about their team or sad about their team. The amount of people who I've seen talking about the Raiders rebuilding in this short period of time, they are so excited. They are, like, ecstatic now. They are buzzing, like, yo, what if we got CJ Stroud or Bryce Young? Probably not going to happen, but still, it's a possibility. It's the ability to entertain that idea. They're excited about that, which they haven't been in forever. They've always stuck with Derek Carr. He's just been like the always, cemented position, always filled. It's crazy for them to be like, we might get another quarterback. It's weird. It does suck, though, because he was so loyal and he loved the fans and all that. But at what point, you just have to, if it's not working out, man, if it's not going to work out, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out or get any better, you kind of have to cut the cord. You just have to move on. I think that they're willing to do that with this benching, with these. They pretty much made him inactive for the last 2 games. It's probably over. And this is probably it for the Derek Carr era, which is, I feel like should have ended a lot long ago, but it's ending now, and people are kind of shook the NFL by storm, I'll be honest. And it's just crazy, It's weird. I mean, like, you 2 games left, not much you can really play for. The fact that they still benched him is kind of telling that, yeah, we're done. I mean, we gave it a shot, and I've heard that this year was supposed to be like Derek Carr's like tryout year. It's like what he said, like if I'm gonna try this out, like, yeah, I've hadn't had that many good seasons in the past, so like we'll try it out. If I'm not good enough for this system under this offense, then that's it. I've heard that's the case with this team, and if that is true, then I think that he truly has not performed enough to work under the Josh McDaniels offense, and like the Josh McDaniels era will continue on without Derek Carr. It's just that simple. Crazy to think about. Didn't think that it was going to happen. Probably should have happened a long time ago, but here we are. It's, crazy thing to end the year, right? Crazy NFL news to end the year. And that's going to do it for this last episode of the year with me and you, this podcast. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. You can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. It drops every Thursday morning. Leave a like, share, subscribe, rate, review, do all that stuff. So thank you for listening, everybody, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week.